Hello, my amazing art students. Today we are going to be doing a few printmaking techniques with our markers and our water and foil, paper towels, paper, and using some tape resist. I'm going to be making a picture that features a butterfly and a flower. You can make whatever you want. And you can always substitute out materials as well. We will use a pencil to sketch, and we're going to start that now. So grab a pencil. Let's start sketching. Now on this piece of paper, it's a little bit bendy foldy, and that's okay. You can use any paper you want. This is actually a piece of paper that I tried techniques on the other side, so it's a little bit wet, so that's why it's a little bendy. You can try it on newspaper, try it on copier paper, any kind of paper you want. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a butterfly. I want to make a butterfly that's sitting on top of a flower. So I'm going to take that wing, I'm going to make a curve up like this, and then I'm going to curve in and bend out again and bring it back in. And then I'm going to bring this one a little bit closer. So you can go ahead and start making your butterfly wing. This is the top side of my butterfly wing. There's a top part and a bottom part to my butterfly. Now the bottom part of my butterfly wing, it goes very close to the top part. It starts right here. I'm going to bring it in a little. And then it's going to curve out like this. And then my butterfly wing's going to come out this way and go back in towards the body there. Again, your butterfly can look however you want, but this is my butterfly. And you're welcome to draw it. So now what I'm going to do with my butterfly is start giving it its head. So we're going to give it a little round head right here, and then its body. So we're going to go right here and we're going to kind of curve it in because this little guy is holding on. He's holding on to a flower with his little tiny legs, okay? So I'm going to take those little tiny legs and I'm just going to draw them, one holding on here, one maybe over here and not so long. 2, 3, 4. Oh, I put that one too far down. I'm looking at a sketch that I had and trying to make it like that because I like that butterfly. Okay, so then my butterfly needs its little antenna. So I'm going to go ahead and make 1, 2, and then you can add whatever pattern you want into the wings. This butterfly could be a monarch butterfly, it could be a blue butterfly, it could be any kind of butterfly you want it to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and make it, I'm going to give it a little section right here. I'm going to bring that section in, any shape you want. And then I might make some shapes out here, like this, on the wing. Maybe I'll add another big shape right here, fit it like a puzzle piece into the wing, and then bring it in. Again, I'm just fitting little shapes along my wing and around. Kind of like a monarch, but also kind of like its own little thing. So you go ahead and design your butterfly. Okay, so that's the top part of my butterfly, and now I need the bottom one. So the bottom butterfly wing is going to have dots like a monarch. I'm not going to color this one like a monarch. I'm going to color it differently. But I want to put those dots that the beautiful monarch butterflies have on their wings in that area. Okay, so I'm just going to fit in shapes like puzzle pieces on that wing. And then I'm going to actually add one more wing because I want this butterfly to look like its wings are open and it's sitting on this flower. So we're going to do a ninja line. We're going to start that line right here at the head, top of the head, top middle of the head, and we're going to take it up, and then we're going to bend it in and down like that, like the wing is open. So then we kind of have to give it that illusion that it's open by making it close right here. Then it goes out and open, and then it gets close again to the wing. All right? You could even do it more like this in more of a U pattern and bring this wing in a little bit more. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Because this wing curves in a little bit, I want it to look symmetrical. So I'm going to bend my wing. I'm going to correct that. I'm going to bring that in, erase that a little bit. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to erase and change things. So I want my wings to match up a little more clearly. And then I'm going to look at that big spot that I had on that wing right there, and I'm going to add some big spots coming in this way. And then I'm going to add that big spot right here is what this one's going to be. So it's going to come in here like that, and then there will be another spot coming in right there. Again, your butterfly doesn't have to have so many parts. Your butterfly's wing doesn't have to have so many parts. It could be much more simplistic. You could just have two open shapes. All right? Okay, and now we want to put this butterfly on top of some kind of flower. So I'm just going to do my butterfly flower really simple. I'm going to lengthen its little legs, because they do have pretty long legs. And then I'm going to make one of these cute little flowers. They have that dome on the top. Just like that, make a little mountain, and then you're going to give it some petals. So to give it petals, remember how we did a curved A before? That's what you're going to make, curved A's. So we're going to bring one side out like this, and then curve it back in towards that middle. And then start your A again. This one's going to be a ninja line. It'll disappear, reappear, and then go back in. And this one's also going to be a ninja line. It'll disappear, go out, go to a point, come back in. And then we want another one to curve out. We're going to take it out this way and curve it back in. Okay? So now we have a whole bunch of, and I'm just going to make like a little curvy line right here to represent the edge of that flower. And in fact, I could make some more A's to thicken up the amount of leaves that my flower has. And then I can design this really truly however I want. I can add some more points to the ends here. And then I can add my stem going in any which direction I want it to go. So I'm imagining that my stem for this flower is going to come down like this. Down like that and go off the page. I'm going to erase that line. Okay, so I have a start to what I want to see. Now the next thing I need to do is get ready for my printmaking technique. Now, I have this tape right here. And I'm going to use this tape in kind of an interesting way. I'm going to take my tape, and this is more of an advanced technique. You don't have to do it this way. So if you've got a little one and you're like, oh, this is not going to work for them, don't worry, don't do it. It's okay. You don't have to. But I'm going to show those that would like to try how to do it. So I took my tape and I put it down on my jeans or my sweater, and I got a bunch of fuzzies like that. And then I peeled it off, and I want those fuzzies because the tape will stick to my paper and rip it apart if I don't do that. So I'm basically just protecting the edges of my butterfly's wings with the tape. I want to get fuzzies. Take some fuzzies off. Get the edge of my wings. Now if I've got a curve on my wings, if I want to capture that curve a little bit more clearly, I could even do this, go over top of the curve, press down a little bit, pull up, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but my pencil mark transferred to my tape. So now I have a line that I can cut on. So I'm going to go ahead and cut along that line. It might not be perfect, but it will be a lot better. Oop, some of my tape stayed. A lot better than if I didn't do that. Okay, so I see right up there, I could actually go back in, trim up a little bit more. I can see my pencil mark, so I am going to pull that. Oop, I have tape sticking to me. I'm going to pull that back off a little bit. Now, again, adults, if you're helping little ones do this, little ones do not have to do this step. You can just skip right over this. This is for the more advanced students. The ones that want to try something a little more difficult. The little ones are free to just, move right along to the printmaking, and they can print right on top of the butterfly. They don't have to get picky like this. All right, I'm going to pull those lines off. I'm going to get that tape transfer my pencil, my graphite, and now I have a line to cut. So I'm going to follow that line. Again, see, scissor safety, cut away from your fingers as much as you possibly can. Move those fingers out of the way. Get adults to help you cut. If you are younger, use those safety scissors. If you're not sure how to use the big scissors, please always ask an adult. They're there to help you. And I'm sure that they would gladly help you. Going to now put this back as best as I can, line it up. And this part, like I said, is going to take a bit longer. I'm going to only do this bottom part so that we can move on. Okay, so I'll do the bottom part and then show you how it's done. We're going to take our foil now. I'll just pull that over. I just have a scrap piece of foil, any old scrap piece of foil. And I'm going to pick some colors. So I picked my primrose, whatever color will do. And then I'm going to pick battery charged blue. So primrose and battery charged blue. You can make rainbows on this foil. You could do whatever you want. You can color over top of two colors. Try not to blend it that way, because if you do, then the markers get blend. The tips are all blended. And then later on, you'll see that when you try to color with them. Use your water and your brush, and you can either drop water onto it like this, drop, 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 Or you can take water on your brush, again, wipe, 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 not tapping, and you can just right over top of it. That primrose and battery charged blue mixes together to make this beautiful purple. Now it's all wet, as you can see. It's actually quite a beautiful, that would make a really beautiful pattern right on top of my wing. So I could do that, but I'm going to show you this part. And now I can do it two ways. I can just flip this over quickly and put it out here, or I could flip the paper over. If it's really runny everywhere, I would flip the paper over and lay the paper on top of the foil. So right now I'm going to take that foil, lay it down outside of that protected area, and give the foil a bit of a back massage. Just massage it like that to transfer that color over. And then you can pick it up. And then we've got this cool, it's going to look like our butterfly is shaking off color. If you've ever seen those butterflies that look like they're shaking off color, this is one way to do it. You can even take your foil and just stay away from the edges. You don't have to worry about all that taping. You can just stay away from the edges too. So you could shake off some color like that. And you can always recharge your foil. Give it a back rub. Some foil self-care. I'm going to recharge my foil, my primrose, my battery charged blue, and my water. Wipe, wipe, wipe. Brush over top. Make that beautiful purple in the middle. And then for this part, I am just laying it right there at that edge to add some more dark areas. Like it's really flicking off that color off the back of my butterfly. So let's take off our protective tape. I taped over here. I initially thought I was going to put a bunch over here, and I think maybe I will at some point. But do you see how that protected the edge of the wing, and it really makes a beautiful line? If you want to save that tape and use it again, go for it. You could just do this. Sometimes I do this at school where I put it on the edge of my tape roll. Tape is precious. If you are an art teacher, you understand that. Tape is precious. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all the tape from the bottom here. And then I want to show you some other fun techniques a little differently. I'm going to show you what it does with paper towel. So I'm going to actually lay my paper towel, I'm going to get a blank piece of foil, on either foil or another piece of paper towel, whatever I have laying around, and then I'm going to grab my markers again. I'm going to kind of stick with the same color scheme. And then this one, your fingers are going to get a bit messy, so it's art. Gonna dip the edges of your paper towel in the water, and then let it crawl down through the marker. You could even dip the other side in. There's the train. Let it crawl down through, and it will mix in between like that. But what I'm going to do with that is I'm actually going to lay that inside my butterfly wing, and I'm going to use that in the areas that I want to color like this, Gonna lay it down and push it down in those areas. Again, this is kind of a fussy, more advanced technique. If you don't want to be so fussy with this, don't be fussy. You can make this as wild and splattered and beautifully rainbowed as you want it to be. I'm just showing it to you this way. All right, so I tend to let it set for just a few seconds to let that ink really transfer down into the paper. Again, this is watercolor paper that I'm using, but you can use sketchbook paper, you can use newspaper, copier paper, whatever you have. Okay, so I'm going to peel that back, and you'll see that I have this softer color, but I also have this kind of thick spot where the ink really transferred. I'm going to lay it down again, and I'm just going to try to lay it down over and over and fill in that butterfly wing. But it's a much more soft pattern and soft look than the foil. So I could paint this whole wing. I could even just take this and squish it down in spots. Now here's the cool thing. If you pick this up and you let it dry, where those edges have created little edging marks from the paper towel, you'll see that. You'll see those little edges when it's all dry, and it will almost look like it has depth. That color will have some depth to it, and it really becomes quite beautiful. All right, I could let it lay there while it dries too. And I think I'm just going to fill in the whole thing, like all of my upper wing and my bottom wing like that. But for now, I'm going to set this off to the side. And I'm going to grab my extra paper towel, kind of go over it like this. You can start to see it almost looks like that salt technique that we used earlier. If you want it to be less messy, if you don't want your kiddos to come out looking like they were dyeing Easter eggs, what you can do is either put gloves on them, or when they are pressing down the paper towels, you can have them, use a Q-tip to press down that paper towel, or just paint it with the paintbrush. I don't mind getting messy. I'm okay with that. But now that pattern, I think it looks really quite beautiful. In fact, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over top of it with some watercolor pencil and show you what that looks like. So let me dig those out. You could use just regular color pencil at this point in time. That way the color doesn't bleed at all and it becomes more solid. The look is completely up to you. I'm going to grab my blue. I don't really want to use black, but I'm going to grab my blue and I'm going to work that edge right here. Again, you can use pure straight up color pencil and then it becomes much more solid. This is the part where you can hum a song, you can keep working on what yours is going to look like, or you can go gather color pencils, Sharpies, other things that you would like to experiment with in this section of the butterfly. Now, this part of the butterfly where it's really, really, really wet, I'm actually just going to let that set for a little bit. I'm going to go back into where I put that watercolor blue. My brush is a little extra blue from the marker. Wipe, wipe, wipe. And then I'm just going to draw out by going back and forth on the edge of that blue. I'm going to draw out some of that color and soften those edges, make them look much more natural and really beautiful. So this is what I would call, as an art teacher, a mixed media technique. If you like that almost whimsical fairy tale look, this would get that. It's a lot of experimenting and a lot of trial and error. If you don't like it, don't keep it. Start a new one. It's okay. I'm pulling that blue into everything, all of those white spots, because I think it's going to look really pretty with just a hint of beautiful blue. And it's mixing with that purple right now. So I'm drawing that in towards the purple. I think it's looking pretty magical so far, actually. I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, so the next part, I think that I need the stuff inside to dry a little bit, and I want it to dry and show you something else. So I'm going to move to the body of this butterfly. In fact, ooh, my tape stuck a little bit. If your tape sticks, start pulling like I just did from the opposite side, and it will release the paper. It may take a little bit of the paper off, but it'll be okay. My butterfly body, I'm going to keep him blue as well. Actually, no. I'm going to go with purple, with violet. So I'm going to come in here and really load the watercolor pencil down at that bottom of the body and not so much at the top, just a little bit. And then again on the face, really shade it in on the bottom. And again, if you've got little ones watching this video, these are the fussy, older, more advanced techniques. They are welcome to just go wild. So let them go wild. And then you can watch this one and try all these fun little extra fussy techniques. And by fussy, I mean more advanced. Okay, so I'm just adding water, and I'm letting that watercolor pencil do its thing. Darken down at the bottom and stay light in the middle, giving my body of my butterfly a little 3D look to it. I think I'm going to use Sharpie on the antennae and the legs so that it pops out a little bit more. All right, my bottom wing is actually starting to dry quite well. I am going to go in with Sharpie on those. So I'm going to pull out one of the thin Sharpies, and I'm not going black because I think that'll be too harsh. I'm going to go purple. I'm really into purple and blue for this moment. I'm not sure why. All right, so I am just going to go in and pull out some of the detail that I really love. And don't do this before. If you noticed, I kind of picked up my Sharpie right there because the paper was starting to be really soft and give when I was trying to draw that line, which means it would have popped a hole through my paper, so I just picked it up. All right, I'm just adding a little thickness here to add a little extra detail, a little extra pizzazz, some pop, little details. And you can add your details too. Your details might be even more spectacular, and I really hope you share them with me so that I can see what you've done. Please, if you enjoyed this video, share it and get somebody else to come create with us and share their work. I would love to build a community full of people sharing their work. So do you see how that's starting to pop and make it look like a little illustration out of a book? Whenever you go over top of a painting with a pen or a marker or a Sharpie, you get something that looks a lot like an illustration in a book. Again, I'm going to add some thickness to these lines right here on the back side because I think that looks like a butterfly. And it's what the edge of the butterfly's wing generally looks like. And sometimes the inside details look like as well. So we're going to give variety to the thickness of the lines. And when you add variety, it adds interest. Because if all my lines were the same thickness, oh, snooze fest, it would be really boring. Even with all the beautiful watercolor things that are happening in the background, like that spot right there looks like a jellyfish. It's really neat. I have a sea creature on that wing. I think I'm actually going to leave these ones with a little bit of an opening, again for variety, and then maybe end it with a solid boop right there. So I think this is going to be pretty spectacular when it's done. I'm really excited to finish this thing now. I am going to keep working on it. I'm going to keep using the same techniques, and I will make sure to pop it up and show you guys what it looks like in the end. I'm going to make another video with some other techniques as well soon, but let me know if you make something really cool. Be sure to share the video, and I will be happy to share my input and encourage you to keep being creative. So stay awesome, and I will see you next time. Thanks for creating with me.